Welcome to mypresidenttrump.us. What is this show about? We defend Donald Trump. We tell you why we think he's a great president, or at least he's doing a very good job. Let's take where we started at before President Trump. The United States corporate tax rate was 35%. The global average was 23%. Mexico and Canada were at 25. China was at 20. That means you made a 10% more profit just by putting your company in Mexico or Canada. You made a 15% more profit by putting your company in China. Let's say you had a manufacturing company that was going to have $100 million a year profit. You'd pay 35%, you pay $35 million to put it in America on then state tax. If you put it in Mexico, you only pay $25 million. That means you get to keep $75 million. You put it in Mexico, you put it in China. I have to do it like Trump. China. You'd only pay 20%. That means you'd get to keep $80 million. If you put it in the United States, you'd only get to keep $65 million, and that's if you put it in a state without a corporate tax. Like if you put it in Minnesota, New York, or California, you'd be at another 10, so you'd only get to keep 55% of your $100 million. China looks real good because China had a much lower tax rate. That means it had a much higher profit margin. Remember, the progressive tax is really a profit tax. It's an income fine. So if you have to pay a 20% fine in China, you pay a 25% fine in Mexico or Canada. America was at a 35% fine. Right now, Donald Trump got the corporate tax down, or the corporate profit fine down to 21%. What does that mean? That means it's more profitable to put your factory or company in the United States than it is Canada, Mexico, and it's only 1% more profitable than China. Now you negate the travel expenses and the shipping cost. Hey, America starts to look better than China. These tariffs he's putting on. China has a plan to take over the global steel industry. Trump is fighting back. The way the Chinese global steel plan looks is they dump steel and aluminum, and in the American markets, the Canadian markets, the European markets, they dump it everywhere. The federal government of China finances the steel industry. They dump steel at cost or below cost. They run everybody else out of the industry. Everybody collapses, and then they raise their prices. Part two, the government subsidizes it. They print money. They have extremely low interest rates. They print money to offset or to fund their steel industry. And next thing you know, they're the only steel and aluminum provider. This gives them a hell of a lot of leverage. Trump said no to that. He put tariffs on Chinese-made steel and aluminum. And you're like, well, yeah, but he also did it to Europe and Mexico and Canada. Well, China was dumping steel and aluminum in those countries. They did a little work to that steel, and then they would ship it to the United States, just basically flooding the global market. So he taxed the global market. So what happens in America? We've got more jobs in Pennsylvania. We've got more jobs in Ohio, West Virginia. You need coal to make steel. It's called coke, is what the technical term is. You need coal to fire the burners. You need coal to make coke. You need coal to make it. You need steel, which America has a lot of. Minnesota has a lot of iron ore. America has aluminum. So we're digging it up. We're mining it. We're cooking it. We're making it. You've got a lot of good union jobs. And more importantly, you're standing up to China. You're telling China they can't take over the world without a fight. That's exactly what they were doing. Now you ask yourself, well, why did Obama let him do it? Well, Obama let China do it. Bush let China do it. Clinton let China do it because, well, most of them, the majority of the people in the United States government, Republican and Democrat, are bribable. We call it campaign donations. You hire their wife. Whatever you do, they're susceptible to taking bribes. The nice thing about having a billionaire is it's damn near impossible to bribe a billionaire, or at least if you do try to bribe a billionaire, Good luck. You're gonna have to bring a lot of money. The liberals say he's worth $2 billion. He says he's worth 10. So let's say you tried to bribe Donald Trump, and you'd have to use a percentage of his net worth. You'd have to at least begin the bribe with $1 billion to get his attention. It's hard to move $1 billion, and I don't think he'd take it, at least not in his 70s. So we have the first president in a long time, probably the first president since Reagan or Bush the first that is unbribable, and more importantly, he's not putting people around him that are bribable. I'm not saying that. I don't think Reagan was bribable. Bush the first certainly not, but they put a lot of people around him that looked for jobs after they were ambassador. They would be more than happy to have the ambassador would let his wife get a job from a company from a country that they were negotiating with. Trump doesn't do that. He wants a good deal. That's long term great for the American people. And what is happening? They're trying to impeach him. Who's funding this impeachment effort? Is it China? He's standing up to China. I see a lot of money and a lot of effort being spent in this whole impeach Trump thing. Somebody's got to be funding it. You can say George Soros, but I would imagine a lot of Chinese corporations are behind it. And you want to talk about impact on the 2016 election. I think the convicted Democratic pedophile Anthony Weiner, sexting a 16-year-old from a laptop with 100,000 Hillary emails on it, coming out 11 days before the election, had a much bigger impact on the election than anything Russia did. So whenever anybody says Russia, 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 I say Weiner, Weiner, Weiner. Anthony Weiner had a much bigger impact than Russia. That being said, I think there's a good chance Trump wins without Weiner. But that being said, Trump's president. He's legally our president. But the Democrats are such sore losers that they want to impeach him. I think there's a lot of Chinese money behind this impeachment. They don't like the tariffs. They don't like the fact that Trump is standing up to them. The Chinese don't like that we have a better corporate tax rate, that we are a better place to put business than we were before, and we're taking a lot of their jobs and a lot of their industry, and we're standing up to them. So if I was the Chinese, I would have Chinese businesses calling for Trump's impeachment. This, I think, is a Chinese conspiracy to impeach Trump. I think it's highly likely that if Trump goes, who benefits? Not the American worker, that's for damn sure. The Chinese worker, the Chinese government would benefit greatly. So would the Germans. So, you follow the money, and the money leads back to China. I think the Democrats are pawns of the Chinese government, and I would definitely look at, where this impeachment money is coming from. And the beneficiary of removing Trump is China. Part two, the United States, we don't impeach presidents because the other side lost. And that's what I see now. The Democrats are sore losers. They want to impeach Trump because they lost. No, this is a democracy. The American people get to decide, not a well-funded media and Democratic impeachment mob. So there's going to be another election, 2020. If you run a better candidate, you can defeat Trump. But impeaching Trump is not the right way to do it. Because if you do manage to impeach Trump before the American people have a chance to vote him back into office or out of office, then the Republicans owe you one. And the next Democratic president should be impeached and removed no matter what, because eye for an eye, baby. Because if you take out Trump, we owe you one. Because, cutting taxes, the best employment numbers for black people in American history, and you want to impeach him. It sounds like you don't want black people to have jobs, or at least the Democratic Party doesn't want black people to have jobs. Because if you did, you wouldn't be trying to impeach the first president that got these employment numbers. Female employment, all-time record. Trying to impeach Trump. So you're impeaching the guy with the best female employment records in American history, but you're pro-woman. It doesn't sound like you want women to have jobs if you're impeaching the guy that's getting the most jobs. And this tax cut is not even a year old. Give the tax cut 2-3 years, and the economy could be at 6 to 8%, at which point there's no way Trump loses. So the Democrats have to impeach Trump because I don't think they feel that they can beat him if the economy stays good. And they have to talk down the economy, ignore the economy. At least that's the way I see it. It looks to me like high unemployment's good for the Democrats. More people on welfare tend to vote Democratic. People who work tend to vote Republican. So the more people on welfare not working are more votes for the Democrats. The more people working and off welfare are more votes for the Republicans. That's just straight demographics. Any true pollster will tell you that. But if you can open your eyes and see that the Democrats need more poor people and the Republicans need more rich people. So the best employment numbers in American history look like they're going to be good for the Republicans in the midterms, and they should be great for Trump come 2020. Now, the idea of removing somebody before the people have a chance to reelect them is just undemocratic to me, and comes off as a sore loser. And if the Republicans begin to call the Democrats sore losers, threats to democracy, why can't you wait to the next election? What are you scared of? Little things like that. The Democrats will be in big trouble in the midterm. But I'm here. I'm a Trump supporter. He is my president. I will do whatever I can to help him. Donald, if you're listening, thank you for the tax cuts. Thank you for making America great again. And I look forward to helping you in the midterms and in the general election in 2020 in any way I can. We're coming out with My President Trump gear. You're going to get My President Trump hats, My President Trump shirts. We're going to do it up real nice. You're listening to Tim Anderson, the host of My President Trump podcast, and you're going to get a lot of films out of us too. Thank you.